And for Christmas, I got a brand new Recteq wood pellet smoker grill.
Huh.
And so this was the first time I cooked on it. And so with the wood smoker grill, there's some exciting things. So you can pick the type of wood pellet you want, the flavoring.
Okay, yeah.
But I always start by going to Wegmans to see what type of seafood looks good, because I was going to have to be a seafood dish. My wife doesn't eat red meat or chicken or pork. So, once I got there and I saw that there was some nice shrimp, and I also saw some nice trout fillets, I decided shrimp and grits. Why not? And
Why
then
not?
I went with a cherry wood pellet or cherry rum wood pellet to smoke it, and it really did come out better than I had hoped. So I can't wait to get back on there and cook some more stuff on my new grill.
Cherry wood pellet. Where do you go and find that?
Well, that was actually at Walmart. Yeah.
Okay, so like you can just pick. That's interesting. That part is interesting to me because it probably will affect the different flavors of whatever you're cooking.
Yeah, so if I wanted to make like a barbecue, I might get a mesquite or
Yeah.
hickory. But I'm new to this too. So, and then I also, as you'll see, I made the grits. They came out really, really good, but there were some things I might have done a little different. But let's roll it, Paul.
Let's roll it.
Smoked trout and shrimp over grits. So excited to use my brand new Recteq Bullseye grill for the first time tonight. I peeled and deveined some raw shrimp, jumbo shrimp with a heavy dose of chopped garlic and a bunch of chopped fresh basil. Put a little avocado oil on there, some fresh lime juice, and then smoked paprika and some crushed red pepper. We're going to set that aside for about 20 minutes in the refrigerator after mixing it all up, and that's going to go straight on the grill. Beautiful trout fillet. Got some cracked black pepper on there, the juice of a lemon, and then heavy dose of Hawaiian red sea salt. And then we're going to set that aside for a moment until that goes outside to the grill. Going to pair this beautiful Lexana Pinot Noir 2008 from Oregon. It's going to go great with the smoky flavor of the shrimp and trout. The thing we're going to do is heavily salt the water. Grits don't have too much taste, so you're going to want them to absorb some of the salt. Sliced up some sweet onions into this frying pan with butter and oil and some of that Hawaiian sea salt on there, along with some sugar and cinnamon. And we're going to caramelize those right down. Now let's go outside. There she is. What a beauty. Brand new Recteq Bullseye. I got it all warmed up. I'm going to set the heat to 225, which you can do with this handy dial. It's also wireless. Really excited to use my new Recteq. And the great thing about smoking, and this is a wood pellet grill, is I chose some cherry rum wood pellets, which I hope are going to pair really good with the shrimp and trout. So there we go. I put everything on. I didn't lure the shrimp because they're big enough, I think, to stay on top of that grill grate. And then they also don't need to flip, so I shut that cover. I'm not going to take a look at them again for about another 25 minutes. So the company that makes this cornmeal here has been around since 1913. So I got the water boiling, and I'm going to just pour it in batches so it doesn't clump up too much. Didn't do a great job of that. There were some clumps, but as you'll see, I'll whisk those out as we go. And we let that boil for a while, continuously stirring, or whisking actually, and then back to the onions now that have caramelized down a little bit. I got some red bell pepper that I julienne sliced and added to the pan. And some Pittsford Farms cultured buttermilk, whole buttermilk, no low fat for this dish. And we add that to our grits along with a half a stick of butter. Turn down the heat And we're going to cover that. In another saute pan, I've got some oil and butter, and I chopped up some broccolini. We're going to cook that down. Don't want to cook it too much. I want it to be crunchy to contrast with the smoothness of the grits. And then it's Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. Got some collard greens here. We're going to dice them up, or not really dice, but chop. Now the remaining marinade from the shrimp I'm going to add to the peppers and onions. Toss that around. And that is a delicious mix right there that I got working on the stovetop. You see the broccolini's only been on for about 5 minutes. I'm going to now remove it from that pan, add another half stick of butter, and in with the collard greens. Make sure that the collard greens get mixed up nice with the butter. As they start to cook down, 680 cellars right here in the Finger Lakes. Gruner Bettlander shot out to Mark Wenzel. We're going to add that to the pan. So the steam will help cook the collard greens. It'll add another level of flavor to those, as will the crushed red pepper that I'm going to generously add to the pan. And we let those cook down, but not too much. Don't want them to lose their color, their bright green color. Also toss in some crushed garlic cloves. Almost forgot about those. And continue to take the cover off the grits and whisk every so often. You don't got to stir it as much as if you're making risotto, but it is a good idea to keep stirring it. Some fresh parsley that's going to be reserved and go on the top of everything when we're done. A little cinnamon and sugar into the grits, why not? Not too much. Don't want it to taste like breakfast. And then some smoked gouda cheese. I'm going to melt that into the grits. Going to pair really good with the shrimp and the wine. Now let's take a look. Again, I haven't opened that lid for about 25 minutes and everything looked great. I was really excited when I took a look. So I took it all off the grill. The shrimp, or the trout, which I tasted, was excellent. The shrimp looked good. Very, very excited about how the Recteq performed on its maiden voyage. Now it's time to plate. Collard greens on one side, broccolini on the other side. I like to do everything in one plate, as you know if you watch this channel. And then the grits in the middle. Didn't want really thick grits. I wanted it to be kind of soupy consistency. And it was. There were a few clumps in there. I didn't do the greatest job I could have done with the grits, but they were delicious and you don't really notice them when you're eating. Now in the middle of that, the red pepper and onion mixture, and on top of that, these beautiful shrimp that came out so good. You really could taste the cherry pellet smoke. And then I removed the skin from the trout, added that to the plate on the sides, and then of course a little tiger sauce to finish. It's a sweet chili hot sauce that you can find at Wegmans. And just drizzle that around a little bit to add some color and a little bit of flavor. A little parsley over it all. And there you have it. Smoked trout and shrimp over grits with some collard greens and broccolini. I was really happy with myself with this one. 8.5 out of 10. It was delicious. Yeah, I was very excited how that came out because I never had a smoker grill, so I never smoked anything before.
Sorry.
And long story short, it was really, really good.
That was
really
like
good.
a full meal. Like I'm thinking, okay, the shrimp and grits is going to be the main meal, and then you surprised me because you had the smoked trout too. Like,
well, that was me going to Wegmans and saying, "Oh man, they got great looking trout fillets, and I have this smoker I'm trying out." So I just bought one nice big fillet just to see how it would come out, and then I just put it on the plate. It really didn't need it, but in the end, it was great. And the nice thing about after it was smoked, it was like firm. But once you put a bite of the trout in your mouth, it just kind of melted.
Oh.
And you could taste the cherry flavor, the smoke on the shrimp and the trout. The grits with that smoked Gouda cheese really went good with it all, and that Pinot Noir wine that I had, and then the collard greens and the broccolini. I probably didn't eat both of them, but you know what? Why not? But they both were a little crunchy, a little different color in that plate. And yeah, I'll if I make something that doesn't come out good, you'll see it. I'll still post it. But
yeah, this is
one,
an 8.5. That's pretty high up there.
Yeah, I might even go a little higher. I'm just a little embarrassed because there might be a real chef watching that might not like the way that I cook those grits. But I got those clumps out. I had to really whisk. But the problem was too is, I'm filming with one hand and pouring in grits. What the right way to do it is as you pour it in to stir it as you pour it in. But whatever. It was good. Really happy with it. Hope you enjoyed watching it.
And people can now follow TikTok to see all of these lovely food pairings. What is your app?
FL1 Food.
FL1 Food. So if you miss it here, you can see it all on TikTok and go follow that. I think we're going to have fun watching you learn and do some more things with that new smoker grill.